Bruchim Habaim. I am so glad that you've decided to take a few minutes in these hours on Yom Kippur afternoon to be within a contemplative practice, to look, as Dr. Alamarinis calls, at and cultivate the internal witness. For those of you who are watching this video and don't know me personally, I'm Cantor Meredith Greenberg, and I want to spend some time with you creating some space so that we can fulfill this essential and extraordinary feat of setting our intention for the new year. Yom Kippur afternoon is a choice. You can see it as just time to spend until you get to Ne'ilah and finish the fast. And you can choose to explore it in a variety of ways that will be meaningful or a little less than meaningful. But I choose to understand these hours, these quiet, searching hours of Yom Kippur as the light starts to shift and pivot toward darkness, to understand that these are the moments in which God is listening most closely to me. In fact, the way I understand the ceiling of my fate this year, who will live and who will die, is not so much about the physical at all, but will I allow the intention of my soul to be communicated this day with God, and therefore be accountable to my understanding of God as I move each hour and each day through space and time and experience of this new year. So you have a bechira, a choice to make about whether these hours matter. And for me, they do. And I'm glad that you chose to spend some of that time with me. So what I hope to be able to do with you is a 20-minute guided meditation. The theme for me that is so present, so intense, as with probably many of you, is teshuvah. Teshuvah has many meanings. I grew up being taught that teshuvah was about repentance, owning your wrongdoings and making plans for how to bring a healing there. I still believe that. But the quality that is more closely related to the word that speaks to me in my soul space is the understanding that teshuvah is about return. And more importantly, for me, returning to what is wisdom that already exists in my soul. Each of us has known and unknown light that is always available to us, not only on the Yom Kippur afternoon. But this day is a day in which we say, I will be accountable to uncovering that wisdom and walking in its path that my light can shine for me, so that I can lift up this world that is so much in need of healing through my own path of healing. So I am going to offer a meditation exploring the four worlds known through Jewish mysticism in our tradition. It will be about a 20-minute meditation with 5 or so minutes in each of the worlds. But just before we begin, earlier throughout this past year, 5780, I studied with a group of women at Ner Tamid, a wonderful book by Estelle Frankel, a Jewish mystic and very experienced psychologist, in which she offered up another definition of teshuvah and of the four worlds, in which she said that teshuvah, when one is practicing, is returning to a situation that before one's behavior contributed to the brokenness, and in the next time that this same or similar situation presented itself, a healing came through in its place. That is another way in which we can get motivated for our hope to return this year. The four worlds are communicated to us through so many cultural and faith traditions. And this is one of those wonderful ways in which people of all kinds of faith and tradition have a lot in common. And so I am going to take us through each of these four worlds and invite you to explore with me, because the aspiration, both Estelle Frankel and many of her teachers have taught, is that one should become so attuned and aligned with each of these worlds as we move through them, so that when one is really within the flow and knows this shefa, this flow of godness that we can tap into, one has 2 feet firmly planted in each of the worlds. That's like, 3 or 4.0. That's down the road. But one of the really important acknowledgments of our humanity is that each of us has a kind of instinct about which world we're most comfortable in, and that's where we hang out most of the time. And so this practice is about exploring that world and the others so that we might become more integrated as human beings and can have our relationships reflect that great sense of wholeness and heal this world around us that we inhabit. So here we go. First, I want to invite you to find, if you haven't already, a comfortable seat. This can mean on a cushion, on the floor, in a chair, laying down on a bed. This meditation should provide for you comfort and alertness, so that whatever posture you take on should be one that you commit to gently. You can always make adjustments as you see fit. And so beginning first by taking your pose, if you have to or want to pause this video, you are welcome to. So beginning first with the anchor of the breath. As as we open up to the first of the four worlds, the world of Asiya. Asiya is related closely to the element of earth and is asking us to be fully present with our physical being, the place in which many of us most spend the majority of our time. So let's embrace the physical, the concrete, the corporeal. See if you can gently notice the body, not by touch, but by an inner listening. You may want to begin first at the bottom of the body and scan, beginning with the feet, for sensation, physical sensation. You may notice the earth under your feet. Allow yourself to explore the sensations that come with knowing that you are within a physical vessel, a body that holds. Notice, if you can, any physical sensations as you begin to scan upwards. Coolness or warmth. You may have tingling or tension. Any physical sensations at all, allow yourself to be aware of them and see if in this gentle, curious exploration you can resist the temptation to change any of it, but instead to find yourself as a witness to your physicality. Moving your attention up the body into the legs, noticing the crease in the hip if you are seated, and beginning at the seat to now see if it's possible to feel into the inside of the body, to explore not only the sensations on the skin, but what it is to be on the inside of that skin. Drawing your awareness and attention to this finely balanced network of veins and arteries, bones, muscle, tendons. Reminding oneself as you move up through the noticing of the spine and the skeletal structure, all the ways in which our body is both magnificent and always in decay, simply because we are human. Noticing all we can about the physical as we move up through the shoulders, through the neck and face, the facial muscles, the cranium, all of the ways in which the body is present for you in her sensations and in your awareness of all that is present in the physical, the land of Asiya. We breathe in, we breathe out. You may already be practicing teshuvah simply by noticing that a thought or Any other distraction drew you away, and yet you returned to this practice. That teshuvah is always available to you. You may want to offer a quiet prayer of gratitude for all the physical that you have been blessed with, this body. We transition now into the world of Yetzirah, the world most closely associated with the element of water, and through the exploration of beingness, this world is the world of the feeling self, the emotions, and our attunement and awareness of all the emotion that lives in us. The emotions that we are feeling presently in this moment could be of a variety. See if it's possible in these next few moments as we enter into this world, not abandoning the world of the physical, but beginning to integrate, noticing how you feel in this moment, plain and simple. They may be feelings that are pleasant or unpleasant. You may feel feelings of neutrality. The question of how are you feeling in this moment might trigger for you many feelings, some that are in tension with each other. There may be joy and sadness. There may be grief and celebration. Notice all that you can about this world of deep feeling self. Breathing in and breathing out. If you become flooded or in any way overwhelmed by a feeling, see if it's possible to, with spaciousness and generosity, not judge these feelings. Instead, applying a sense of hopeful awareness that all that you feel may be known to you. You may want to offer up a gentle prayer for all that you can and do feel in this life, welcoming all of the various feelings that course through us moment to moment. Breathing in and breathing out. How do your physical self and your feeling land together? Perhaps the prayer can be that we do not feel we must abandon one world for the other. May I feel into both my emotional landscape and my physicality all at once. We move now into the third world, that of Bria, the world most closely associated with the element of air, the element that surrounds us at all times but quietly keeps herself gently still. Sometimes the air moves and we become more aware of it, and sometimes we cannot feel it at all. This is the land most associated with the thinking mind, with meaning, with the land of thoughts that are always regenerating. Many of us struggle with the thinking mind, overwhelmed by thoughts. Notice in this next cycle of breath, with love, how the brain is always in motion. How glorious it is that the thinking mind is available to us. You may be exploring a thought right now. It may be exciting or wonderful or brand new to you. See if instead of our usual tendency to follow the thought, we can use it as a time to practice teshuvah again, to acknowledge with gentle curiosity that the thinking mind is active and engaged, and return still to both the emotional and physical worlds that are available to us as well. Breathing in and breathing out. You may want to offer a gentle prayer for this world that you have access to, that you are present to this moment. The blessing of a mind that can be always evolving by both taking in ideas from the world outside of you and by encountering and uncovering the wisdom of the thinking mind that exists in you already. Breathing in and breathing out. The thinking mind might be interested in knowing more about these other worlds. See if it's possible for you to allow some space for these three worlds that we've explored already, to see one another, to notice one another, to be present through each new cycle of breath. As we move now into the fourth of these four worlds, I invite you to notice the world of Atzilut, most closely associated with the element of fire. The world of Atzilut is the world of the intuitive, spiritual connection. The world of Atzilut is the world that promises holistic self-togethering, a joining of all that is seen and unseen, of all that is felt both consciously and unconsciously, of all that we allow ourselves to be present with at all times. The world of Atzilut, like fire, can be threatening because it can feel so far and foreign and alien and strange. If that is true for you in this moment, notice that awareness. Notice if there are obstacles. Begin to see if you can be curious about what the tensions are that arise in you when this world is presented as an available place to explore. Using all three of the other worlds as companions, we can explore the world of spiritual, open awareness without danger. Breathing in and breathing out. You may notice new feeling sensations, emotions coming through you. You may notice new thoughts arising. In the land of Atzilut, everything is welcome. This is the place where the most compassion for all that we are, all that is our humanity, is cherished and appreciated. To live B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, of that is Godness, is to be fully present with our humanity and to allow what is beyond the self to be known and appreciated by us, to open our hearts to the all, to whatever presents itself with each new breath. In these last few moments of our time together, this Yom Kippur afternoon, I want to invite you to just be. is my prayer and my hope that I will return again and again to this aspiration of being, that in my becoming I will remember to return to all that is available to me, so that I may heal the broken places and therefore be able to contribute to the healing of the world around me. Firmly placing my feet in all four of these worlds. Asya, the earth world, the physical, the body. Yitzira, the water, the vital feelings, the sensitivities, the exploration of emotion. Bria, the air that surrounds us always. The thinking mind always active and engaged, doing and becoming and evolving, moment to moment. And Atzilut, like fire, the land that can provide for us all that we need to survive and thrive this new year, allowing us to move seamlessly through each of these soul places. And now, as we begin to bring ourselves back to whatever is next this afternoon for you, I want to invite you to perhaps offer up one more prayer that you can sense into and hear coming up through you. Whatever is your prayer for your year that lies in front of you. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be the will of all that is moving us through this universe, that your prayers and mine will be answered. I'd like to invite us all now to gently let our eyelids open if they've been closed, as we take in the light, as we notice how wonderful it is to be still with all that becomes aware by our soul space, all that's possible to be attuned and aligned with. I wish you all a sweet and good year filled with opportunity for meaning and healing. Chag Sameach.